Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Oh, yeah, motherfuckers. Oh, yeah, I'm back. This is your main man, Mr. Can You Dig It, Backwoods Mayor. And I'm back with a couple hot ticks of these motherfucking politics. Hit that motherfucking subscribe button, nigga. Oh, look, America, Donald Trump need to be locked up, kicked in his motherfucking ass. This is Donald Trump depicting himself as Jesus Christ healing somebody. The son of bitches that cognited the crime. He's stupid. Kick him in his ass. Lock his motherfucker.
Good to have you on. Do you think that Democrats will have any luck with their Republican counterparts as it pertains to the ongoing war with Iran?
Look, Mika, I certainly hope we will. As you just mentioned, we're coming back from an Easter recess, a recess in which President Trump opened on Easter with a hateful, angry tweet suggesting he was about to wipe out an entire civilization. And when Pope Leo, the leader of 1.3 billion Catholics worldwide, pushed back on that statement, pushed back on war and President Trump's immigration policies, as well as his conduct of this war in Iran, President Trump has escalated by personally attacking the Pope and then, shockingly this morning, posting an AI-generated visual of him as Jesus Christ. Mika, there's 70 million Catholics in this country. This is an overwhelmingly Christian country, but a country of faith where we respect each other, that was rooted in freedom of worship, freedom of religion. It seems to me that Pete Hegseth and J.D. Vance and President Trump seem determined to secure their white Christian nationalist base and to push aside and to offend and to distance themselves from all the good people of our nation who want good things for our country and for each other. This has been a very dark chapter. And one of the things I've been struck by is the silence of so many of my colleagues on the other side. It was Martin Luther King who said the real tragedy is not the cruelty of the bad, but the silence of the good. And I'm hopeful we will hear some voices this week speaking up and saying our national leader, our president, should not be attacking one of the world's greatest religions, should not be putting himself in the space of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and of one of the most important figures in world history, not least of which spiritual history. This is a watershed moment for those who want to stand for decency and for the values that founded our country.
Oh, look, America. Trump is having a mental health episode. The summer bitch is not sleeping. He's not sleeping. He's pretending to be Jesus. He's sick. Put the handcuffs on his ass. Lock his motherfucking ass.
Basically threatened to kill the Pope. I mean, I don't want to mince words here. They threatened to do a, quote, Avignon papacy, the 14th century papacy where the French back then basically kidnapped and hijacked the Pope, killed him, brought the papacy to Avignon in France. And the Trump regime told Pope Leo XIV's ambassador, essentially, if you don't support what we're doing, if Pope Leo XIV doesn't shut his mouth, we are going to be doing to you what the French did in the 14th century. Prepare for an Avignon papacy, which was interpreted back in the Holy See, back in the Vatican, as a death threat, as a threat that the Trump regime would invade or attack.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump is threatening the Pope. He done started buku motherfucking wars. He's selling Bitcoin. He in the Epstein file. He's selling steaks. He's selling shrimps. Lock his motherfucker.
We are quite frustrated right now. We keep saying that the coming election is about a contrast for America between common sense and crazy. I've suggested, and I suggested yesterday in a press conference, we should probably take this vote tally, blow it up on a poster, and put it at every airport terminal around America. The Democrats just voted for the third time to make you stand in those long lines and to jeopardize our country.
Oh, look, America. MAGA Mike Johnson out of Shreveport, Louisiana, the country son of a bitch, is running around the whole motherfucking country telling people don't vote for Democrats because if they do, they're going to impeach Trump and send him to jail. Fuck him. Kick him in his ass. Lock his...
Now let's go live outside the White House to CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Zhang. We are following what may just as well be breaking news here because the president just deleted a Truth Social post with an AI photo of him as Jesus Christ. What more can you tell us about this backlash the president faced from that post?
Well, after the president posted this, there was a flood of criticism from his very loyal supporters, from conservative influencers, that made clear that this was just going too far, and they were calling on him to take it down, which happened, but we have not heard from the White House yet. We specifically asked if this was deleted and asked for more details about the context of what the president meant when he posted it, because there was no words, no caption to go along with it. We want to know who originally posted it and why it was taken down. Now, you may remember that the last time President Trump posted something that really started a huge controversy was a video depicting the Obamas in a very negative way. And the president ultimately said that he wasn't the one who posted it. He said that it was a staffer who did it. I remember asking the president if that staffer was fired, and he said no. But we don't know the situation in this case. What we do know is that picture is no longer on his Truth Social account.
Okay.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump is in a motherfucking panic. He's now deleted the motherfucking picture he put as himself as Jesus healing people. It's too late for that now. You's a fucking dummy. Lock his mother.
It is not looking good for Donald Trump. His cognitive and physical health continues to rapidly deteriorate. Yesterday, he was in his golf club in Doral where he could barely walk in a straight line. When he showed up in the dining room area, he made people clap for him. That's what he does now. Also, he went on social media and started posting some of the most deranged images, memes, and messages you could ever imagine. And that's saying something, because you can imagine the deranged stuff he posts. And this is at the same time that negotiations with Iran failed because Donald Trump and his regime tried to change the negotiating framework that they agreed to before going to Pakistan to negotiate with Iran. Then Donald Trump said, we are doing a blockade of all of the Persian Gulf. So Donald Trump's plan about opening up the Strait of Hormuz is to now blockade the entire Persian Gulf where the Strait of Hormuz is located. So these are very critical times. This is life or death stuff. And while the United States is suffering, while people here are afraid, Donald Trump's been making posts about Bruce Springsteen. And he said, what happened to Bruce Springsteen? Bruce Springsteen prior to plastic surgery. And then it's a bizarre image of Bruce Springsteen, which I don't even think is a real image. Then Donald Trump posts an image of a Trump building on the moon, right? So as Americans are getting their health care ripped away by the Trump regime, as Americans can't afford things, they can't afford gas or groceries or rent or anything, Donald Trump is posting memes of Trump hotels on the moon. Donald Trump's also posting weird images of Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, former President Biden and himself. And it says 40 years in office, 52 years in office, 50 years in office. I mean, it's post after post after post like this. I mean, all throughout the night. We're talking about posts going into like 1 a.m. He's also posting photos of himself as Jesus. I'm not sure if he's supposed to be healing Jeffrey Epstein or who that is right there. And if you also look on top of Donald Trump, it looks like there's some sort of like G.I. Joe figures or Transformers while he's depicting himself as Jesus in an AI image.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump just wrapped up a disaster-ass speech. Not only that he depicted himself as Jesus healing the fucking sick patients, Donald Trump is the motherfucking patient. Lock his... Oh, look, America. Look at this son of a bitch acting like he God. Look at that shit. Donald Trump. Donald Trump as Jesus healing the patient. Donald Trump is the motherfucking patient. Lock his mother... Oh, look, America. Now that the Pope, he has now seen the blasphemy. the fucking corruption that swirls around Donald Trump and his motherfucking administration. Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Lock his motherfucker.
So the ceasefire was a complete fiction.
When even Fox is willing to admit that this ceasefire Trump announced is just another one of his lies, you know he's in trouble.
The Iranians originally put forward a 10-point plan that was fundamentally unserious, unacceptable, and completely discarded. It was literally thrown in the garbage by President Trump and his negotiating team. Many outlets in this room have falsely reported on that plan as being acceptable to the United States, and that is false. With the president's deadline fast approaching and the United States military completely decimating Iran with each passing hour, the regime acknowledged reality to the negotiating team. They put forward a more reasonable and entirely different and condensed plan to the president and his team. President Trump and the team determined the new modified plan was a workable basis on which to negotiate and to align it with our own 15-point proposal. The president's red lines, namely the end of Iranian enrichment in Iran, have not changed. And the idea that President Trump would ever accept an Iranian wish list as a deal is completely absurd.
Oh, look, America, we ain't getting Donald Trump no motherfucking cushion. Fuck all that. Donald Trump is an evil man. He's an abuser. He's likely a fucking pedophile. He's a faithless man. He's a dishonest man. Lock his motherfucking ass up. Oh, look, America, Donald Trump just wrapped up a disaster-ass speech at the White House. The son of a bitch invited a DoorDash lady there and started asking her about transgender, about bullshit, rambling. Put the handcuffs on his ass. Lock his mother.
They want to have men playing in women's sport. Do you think that men should play in women's sports?
I really don't have an opinion on that.
You don't? I'll bet you do.
No, I'm here about no tax on tips.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, look, America, don't believe a motherfucking thing Donald Trump got to say. This son of a bitch said 34 ships and got through the Strait of Hormuz. That's a motherfucking lie. He just get up that line. You need to put the handcuffs on him. Kick him in his ass. Lock his motherfucking...
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot.
Oh, look, America, Donald Trump is trying to spin the story. Now he said he thought it was him getting depicted as a doctor. Who the fuck he think we is? Put the handcuffs on that bastard. Lock his mother... Oh, look, America, Donald Trump is stupid. That's why he think we all stupid. Just believing this bullshit that this son of a bitch say. Even a Tyler can tell you the difference between a doctor and this picture. Put the handcuffs upon that cupcake. Lock his...